Pratibha.
And my name is Amina.
So we are going to interview our school principal, Mr. Alyas. Good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you guys?
Fine. So my first question is, what was your first job?
My first job. Okay, so my first job. I was at college, so I would have been about 17, and in the UK we have a postal service. So I used to go to this place called Royal Mail. So all the mail that's delivered in the UK goes to that one big centre, and I'd carry the sacks of mail, so about 20, 30 kilos of mail. I'd carry it and I'd pour it onto these kind of big desks and people would sort them. So this goes to this area, this goes to this area. So you're kind of like the most hated person in the office because these people that they finish their job, and then you come with a sack, you put it down, and then they've got more work to do. So that was my first job. I started when I was about 16 or 17.
So the next question is, sir, why did you leave your previous job?
In a weird way, I'm one of these people, I like project work. So normally what I do is I work with schools that need a lot of development, and I go in and I essentially revamp things. So my previous project was, I guess, one project where the school was about to be closed and it needed a lot of support. So once that school had kind of been turned around and it was stable and I've got a principal in place, etc., it was kind of time for the next challenge. I'm one of these people, I need a challenge. If I don't have a challenge, I get very bored. So when I came here, I met the owner, I met the HR. It was clear that this role had a lot of room for development, a lot of room for growth. And I thought, you know, why don't we take this on as a project? An Indian school, something very different, very new, but clearly there's a lot of good here that needs to be built on, so I took on this role with it.
So what inspired you to be the principal?
In a weird way, it's not something that I never kind of sat down and thought, oh, I want to be a principal, or I want to be in charge of people, or I want to run a school. It's weird, it's something you kind of, over time you kind of become, you know. My original role, my profession was I was a business analyst in the UK, so I like fixing things, it's one of my big things. So I went from that, and when I used to design stuff I would train people, and then from training I went to education, from education I went to advisory, and then from there I went to leadership. So it's not something I ever planned. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because even when I speak to students now, we say, right, you should know what you're doing at the age of 15 or 16. I had no idea, and I had no idea at the age of 20, 25. I think sometimes you find what you're good at as life goes on, and you think, I like this, and this is what I enjoy, where do they cross over? And when you find that thing where they cross over, you think, right, that's where I need to be. So I kind of just stumbled into it, really.
So your next question is, who is your role model?
Honestly speaking, I probably don't have any. I would say became a Muslim at university. So my natural role models are more kind of Islamic characters. So that would be the Prophet, purely because of his character and the way he dealt with people, the way he led. I think he was the best example of people. So really, it's the only role model I have personally. And in a weird way, I know I don't do it, but my goal is always to kind of do things in a similar fashion.
Okay, so what do you expect from the students of SSIS to do for you, as in you're doing a lot for us?
I think all you can really ask of anyone is for them to do their best. Is come in, be respectful, and just do your best. You don't have to be the most academically gifted person. You don't have to be the best sports star. Just come in and try. And then for everything else, that's what we're here for. You know, I think sometimes schools expect students to be finished products, but you're not. You know, you're development in progress. And our job is to kind of help you get there. And if we're not helping you, then what are we doing? You know? So yeah, just simple. Just come, have some fun, relax, and work with us.
Okay, so the next question is, if you were a student of SSIS, as a student, what all suggestions would you give to your school management?
To be honest, it's very hard to think from that perspective.
Yeah.
One of the projects that we're starting, as you know, is that we're going to be students for the day.
Yeah.
One of the reasons for that is so we can kind of capture that view from below upwards. I don't really know. because I come from such a different culture as well, and you know, there's such a heavy emphasis on academics here, which is something that, you know, it's not really culturally what I'm used to. I would like to see more stuff in terms of sports. So if I was a student, definitely I would see more things in sports, and I would like to get a little bit more involved in the school. It's tricky from my perspective, it's tricky because there's so many issues, but you know, I think it'd probably be around the pastoral areas that I'd want a bit more.
Okay, so the next question is, what is your hobbies?
Football.
What are your hobbies?
Football, and football. Love playing football, love watching football, and I play football on my Xbox. So basically anything to do with football. I've always been a football man. I love training. I work out pretty much every day. And aside from that, I probably don't have time for very much, to be honest. So yeah, just sports. I love sports, I love football, I love watching football. Pretty much.
So if you had a day off, what would you do?
Sleep.
Always.
To be honest, it's such an intense role that I don't think anyone will ever understand that if you've not been in this chair, that how much is on your shoulders and how many people are dependent on you for so many different things. If I ever do get a day off, my first thing is I just want to rest, I want to sleep. And then aside from that, the job being as demanding as it is, it does take me away from my family. So if I do have some time, then naturally it's like, let's do something together. Even if we're not going to do something together, just sit amongst my family and just give them some time.
So have you ever been criticized by people around you, or maybe your elders or anyone? Have you ever been criticized?
In a professional context, in a personal context, yes, and it's normal. You know, it's. I think like even personally, I'm probably I think my work character and my personal character are two very distinct things, and I've had to separate them over years because my personal character is actually very sensitive and probably quite shy. And my work character can't mix with my personality, so I have to separate the two. So over time you learn to kind of take criticism, and criticism is a good thing. You know, people can say, you guys can come and say, do you know what, our student council is rubbish, or you know, the canteen isn't working, or the after-school activities are not working. And I think the worst thing you can do is take it personally. You have to just look at it as it is and say, okay, great, what do we do to improve? So, I mean, it happens all the time. Sometimes people will criticise you and they're correct, and that's good, it's beneficial. Sometimes people will criticise you and they're incorrect, and that's not such a big problem either, because, you know, it's fine. The thing I like amongst my team, and even with the students, is I want people to have the comfort to be able to say what they need to say. If people don't have that comfort, you'll never get that two-way feedback that you need. I need people to come into the room and say, you know, this is what's going on, this is how I feel, this is what's working, this is what isn't working. It's just a part of life, you have to deal with it.
So what do you think a principal should be feared or liked?
I could probably ask you the same question about a teacher. Should a teacher be feared or liked?
I think most probably she should be liked, because fearing a teacher will get only grades, but liking a teacher will help you improve your grades, vocabulary, and maybe even communication skills, which is kind of less in our school, to be honest. So we have very rare people, very rare students with good communication skills, good elders, the way they are supposed to be. Like, obviously they must have a boundary before, being a teacher being liked does not mean you can be too frank to her or speak to her as a friend, but there should be boundaries, but in the boundaries there should be, you know, fun, communication.
It's comfort, isn't it?
Yeah, comfort.
For me, like I was saying, I need everyone to be very comfortable with me. I need people to trust me. So, you know, if people fear you, you're not going to get the best from them, just as you would with a student. So for me, it's all, one of the first things I always work on is relationship building, and, you know, making relationships between people, even within admin and the team and the teachers, because it's very, very important for people to be able to work together, to trust each other, to respect each other. I think it's a very small percentage of needing to be feared in the exact same way that you would with a teacher. So, like, you might be like, oh, I better do my homework or my teacher will tell me off. They won't like shout at you or anything, but they'll say, where's your homework? And you'll feel bad about it. You know? It's that kind of thing, it's that follow-up. But I work with a lot of principals, I train a lot of principals, and people have different leadership styles. Some work, some don't, some are more effective than others. I genuinely believe the best way to work with people is to treat them well. And the better you treat them, the more you get from them. And people don't always agree with my leadership style. And people, and I have been criticised for this as well, but I really do believe in it. And no matter which project I take on, I always get results because I bring people together.
Yes.
And I honestly think it's, like we were saying about role models before,
Yes.
this was the way it was done, and it worked. And so this is the way to do it.
So what reactions and feedbacks did you get when you started making changes in SSIS?
SSIS was probably easier than some projects because your parents are probably a little bit more open-minded and easier to work with. Your staff are probably a bit more open-minded as well. But you get the mixed bag. You get the people who say, "Oh, this will never work," and they actively try not to allow things to take place. And they actually work against the system. And I had people like that last year. And you have those that say, "Okay, I don't think this is going to work, but I'll give it a shot." And then you'll get those that say, "Ooh, this is really interesting, let's try." And it's managing all three groups of people. I find that with the blockers, with the resistors, you get most of them on side, and you get them on side from showing them. So if I say to you, "This is the best way of learning maths," and you don't believe me, well, I'll show you, and I'll work with you until you think that is the case, and you believe it, and because you can see it in practice. And our job as leadership is not to tell people what to do; it's to show them that this is the way to do it. And 99%, like your students, 99% will buy in, they'll work with you, and they'll be fine. And then you'll get that 1% that you just have to work with, and to grit your teeth and just get through it. And then usually you replace them to the best.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable time.
Oh, pleasure.
That is
pleasure.
our interview here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We had a great time.
Oh, it's my pleasure, honestly. It's just nice talking to you guys.